Picture yourself in the middle of one of the biggest hip-hop trials ever, with your whole future hanging in the balance, and then out of nowhere, someone totally unpredictable shows up and makes the courtroom feel like a circus. In the Young Thug YSL trial, this wasn't just a funny moment, it was Lil Woody who turned into the biggest wildcard in the room. Hang tight as we explore the crazy stuff he stirred up and how this unexpected character caught everyone's eye. The Young Thug YSL trial has had tons of jaw-dropping moments, crazy twists, and legal drama that you'd think is straight out of a TV show. But with all the serious stuff going on, one guy has definitely caught everyone's attention. Not for being a legal whiz, but for his wild antics, Lil Woody. In this video, we'll explore how Lil Woody managed to troll the entire trial, why his actions matter, and how this character's behavior highlights the strange intersection between street culture and courtroom justice. Number 1. Setting the scene, the YSL trial. Alright, before we get into Lil Woody's trolling, let's set the scene. The whole trial with Young Thug and the YSL crew has been one of the craziest legal battles lately. Prosecutors are claiming that Young Thug and his buddies are involved in all sorts of illegal stuff, from drug dealing to violence. With so much on the line, this trial has caught the eyes of fans, news outlets, and legal experts. Young Thug, the Atlanta rap star, is totally denying all the charges, insisting that YSL is just a record label and a place for creativity. But the prosecution has a different story, portraying YSL as a criminal gang with Young Thug as its leader. The courtroom has been the stage for months of testimony, and in the midst of all this, Lil Woody, an informant and part of the YSL circle, emerges as a central figure, not because of his testimony alone, but because of his larger-than-life antics. Number 2. Who is Lil Woody? Lil Woody, also known as Kenneth Copeland, isn't just any ordinary individual caught in the YSL web. His history with the crew runs deep, having been a street figure known to operate in close proximity to the members of YSL. Though not as famous as Young Thug, Lil Woody's presence in Atlanta street circles is significant. But when the trial began, nobody expected Lil Woody to stand out for reasons other than his testimony. Yet as proceedings continued, it became clear that Lil Woody wasn't going to play by the usual courtroom rules. Number 3. The trolling begins. Lil Woody's trolling in the trial is as absurd as it is brilliant. It started with subtle things that only some people in the courtroom noticed, like his exaggerated reactions to testimony or his over-the-top facial expressions while lawyers questioned witnesses. But soon, his behavior escalated. At one point, Lil Woody started chatting to himself really loudly during the cross-examination, mumbling stuff that didn't even seem to have anything to do with the trial. It felt like he was trying to steal the spotlight, totally in the wrong moments. The judge had to repeatedly warn him to keep quiet, but Woody clearly enjoyed the spotlight. This was no mistake. Lil Woody was fully aware of the audience watching, and he was ready to perform. Number 4. The viral moment, Lil Woody's strategy. What made Lil Woody's antics viral, though, was his complete disregard for courtroom decorum. In one of the most talked about moments, he openly laughed at testimony that was supposed to be serious. Imagine the reaction. Witnesses were recounting intense situations involving alleged crimes, and here was Lil Woody, smirking and chuckling, as if the whole thing was a joke to him. The internet picked up on these moments immediately, turning Lil Woody into a meme almost overnight. But was this just for fun? Many people began speculating that Lil Woody's trolling was a deliberate strategy. Some suggested that his behavior could be in an attempt to discredit the trial altogether, turning the proceedings into such a farce that it undermines the gravity of the case. Others believe that Lil Woody was trying to throw off witnesses, disrupting their concentration with his bizarre antics. Number 5. The impact on the trial. It's easy to brush off what Lil Woody was doing as just messing around, but it really shook things up. The courtroom, which is supposed to be serious business, turned into chaos because of him. He kept interrupting, making everything drag on, and you could see the witnesses were really thrown off by his antics. Honestly, it got so out of hand that the judge almost had it with him and threatened to hold him in contempt a bunch of times. The lawyers on both sides looked totally confused about how to deal with him. The prosecutors were super annoyed because his crazy behavior could hurt their case, while the defense attorneys didn't know if they should try to separate themselves from Lil Woody or find a way to use his trolling to their advantage. So it left everyone wondering, was Lil Woody just being wild, or was he part of some bigger plot? Some even speculated that his behavior might have been encouraged by someone within YSL to create chaos and confusion in the courtroom. Number 6. Public reactions and meme culture. Outside the courtroom, Lil Woody was putting on quite the show. Social media blew up with comments, memes, and funny takes on his antics. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were super busy with videos that made fun of his courtroom tricks. The hashtag Lil Woody trial troll trended, with users sharing clips and dissecting every outrageous moment. Meme culture had found its new subject. People who weren't really keeping up with the YSL trial before started watching just to see what Lil Woody would do next. His wild moves made the courtroom feel more like a reality TV show than a serious legal ordeal. Number 7. The bigger picture. Courtroom trolling as a strategy. Lil Woody's antics are part of a bigger trend we've been seeing in some high-profile trials lately. Courtroom trolling. It's not just about stirring up trouble, often it's a clever strategy. By making a joke out of the serious stuff happening in the courtroom, trolls like Lil Woody can throw people off and distract them from important evidence or testimonies. In the YSL trial, for example, Lil Woody's trolling might have made the prosecution look less credible. When the courtroom turns into a circus, it's tough for anyone, including the jury, to take things seriously. Lil Woody, intentionally or not, was using this strategy to his advantage. Number 8. What happens next for Lil Woody? As the trial goes on, it's tough to say what's next for Lil Woody. He's definitely brought some laughs and viral moments, but he's also playing with fire when it comes to legal trouble. He might end up facing some serious court charges, and his wild behavior could mess with his own legal situation even more. Plus, Young Thug himself might be wanting all the antics to stop now, as it could make not only the prosecution sound dumb, but his team's defense as well. But right now, Lil Woody doesn't seem worried at all. His antics have shot him into an unexpected spotlight, and he's clearly loving the attention. Whether he actually planned all this, or if he's just messing around in the courtroom, one thing's for sure, Lil Woody has made quite an impression during the Young Thug YSL trial, for better or worse. We'll just have to wait and see whether the antics are taken up a notch or stopped completely. Lil Woody's messing around in the YSL trial really shows how today's courtrooms are turning into places where it's not just about the legal stuff, but also about how people see it and what goes viral. What kicked off as a serious criminal case has now blown up online, mainly because of Lil Woody's shenanigans. So what's this going to mean for the trial's future? And will his trolling stick around as a problem for Young Thug and the rest of YSL? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep up with this and more hip-hop news.